listen to me and listen to me real good. I've told you once, I said it 1,000 times. You get out of those pagan, satanic, religious, Christian churches. Christians do not follow the commandments of the Bible. Christians do what they want to do. They make up their own laws, their own rules, and their own regulations. Come out of her, my people, and come out from among them. And it's real simple and easy to ascertain who are these people you need to come out from. Easy. Number one, if they keep Sunday, that's an automatic sign that you need to not have any fellowship with these commandment-breaking, wicked deceivers and seducers and bewitchers of the truth. Simple. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Greetings to each and every last one of you in the sweet, precious, and strong, and victorious, and mighty, overcoming name of our soon-coming King, Yahshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. I bless each and every last one of you that are here and able to attend the Straitway Truth radio broadcast by way of Blog Talk Radio. I'm glad that you're here. Brother Shane is working with Jay Smith 4, hopefully on the video feed. These things are out of our control. We just never know when the server is going to be down, because the server is not in our neck of the woods. We broadcast here, and it goes clear across the country to somewhere else by the time it hits your computer at home. So we hope all of you are doing well. But however, if you've got the audio and you can hear me, and I'm coming in pretty good, give me a 10. If I'm coming in bad, give me a 1. And let me know if you can hear me, and hopefully before the broadcast is up, we'll be able to have the video up. But it's more important to hear, because faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word of y'all. All right. We got a real treat for y'all tonight. I got a few things I'm going to cover. I'm going to cover eugenics. I'm going to cover Israel. I want to, first of all, number one, send a shout out to all the people who donate to the Straitway Truth radio broadcast and the ministry of Straitway by way of WePay. I see your donations every single week, and they do not go unnoticed. I am planning on responding when you donate by WePay, by email, and those of you who have written in and donated to the ministry, to the work, and helping me in getting this word out to many other people out there who needs to hear this word as well, and the encouragement, I will respond to you by mail. Either way it goes, know this, that Pastor Dowell knows each and every last one of you that are cheerful givers. And I am deeply indebted and deeply appreciative for each and every last one of you giving. Because remember, Yah loves a cheerful giver. Hallelujah. And you help me to do the work of the ministry, and I thank the Father for that. Many people get healed, get delivered. There's salvation, there's healing, and there is deliverance. Now, there's a few things that I need for all of us to understand. And I really, truly want us to understand. You know, some time ago, before I started on spiritual warfare and deliverance, I was all over the Zionist movement. And these people who are Ashkenazi, or what I call transplanted converts, who are not the original people of Yahweh. Did y'all hear what I said? They have been posing themselves as the original people of Yahweh for centuries, and the world has bought it hook, line, and sinker. But those of us who understand Bible prophecy, biblical scriptural prophecy, and those of us who are students of the book and descendants of real true Israel, we know exactly who we are. And you know, the rest of the world, they don't want to bite off on that, and neither do they want to accept that, because to accept that means that they have to admit that they are liars and that they are promoting lies. So these people who are calling themselves Jews, I want you to know one thing's for sure. They do have that right. They are Jews, but they're definitely not Hebrews, and they're definitely not Israelites. And there is a difference. I know you've been duped and deceived into believing that because someone calls himself Jew, because you see the translation or the so-called alliteration from Yehuda to Jew, that you think you have an understanding and a grasp of the meaning and the etymology of words that are going on today. But I assure you that you've been deceived, and you really truly cannot see the forest for the trees, because the lie has been perpetuated for so long. Ever since 700 AD, when King Bogan of the Khazars, converted over to Judaism, not being a Hebrew or an Israelite. You see, to be a Hebrew, that means you have the faith of Abraham or Avram. To be an Israelite, that means you are a descendant of Yaakov, which you can also be grafted in, or you can be adopted into the family as long as you receive the laws, the statutes, and commandments. When you come this way, you're not to teach your former paganism, your former heathenism, and your ideology, your theologies, and having your own ideals and placing them above the word of Yah. Your opinions mean nothing. My opinions mean nothing. All that means anything in the grand scheme of things of this universe is what has already have been written and what the king have already said, because he said clearly when he was speaking to Dowell, he said, I will not alter, nor will I change anything that has gone out of my lips. What's remarkable and amazing is that none of these people who call themselves Jews today fit one biblical prophecy. Not one. They are not talked about, nor are they spoken about as pertaining to the children of Israel. They are not. Now, what has happened is the powers that be under the Great Britain and the United States of America, and they've gotten together, and they've taken the people who actually had, listen to my word, listen to what I'm getting ready to say, eugenics practice on them, because Hitler was too busy trying to make a superhuman race, and he wanted to get rid of all the people who he called oxygen takers, oxygen eaters, less than what you would call blessed. Hitler was trying to create a superhuman race, a blonde head, blue eyes. I call them leopards, Ashkenazis, or leopard Jews. Of course, even the Germans didn't admit it, but that's where pretty much all this pretty much originated at. And what had happened is that these Jews, they end up under the benevolence, so-called benevolence, even though Palestine didn't have a seat at the table, and they didn't know what was going on, because between Great Britain, the United States, and Russia and China and Italy, they had already started dividing up the lands of Israel as well as the land of Ham, because they prophesied the Grecians to be ruling and to reigning up until the time of the end. That's the reason why you hear Pastor Dowell over and over and over again continually keep telling you that Jerusalem is being trodden down of the Gentiles, and it by the seed of Japhet. And it will be trodden down by the seed of Japhet until the time of the end. And so you might as well get that through your thick head. Ain't nothing going to change. Well, what's happening is we have a bunch of refugees that's coming from the land of Ham. That is, all of us who've been how do you say this? Now, when people conquer a land, they do have a right. But the land of Ham, that's the way the scriptures call it. You won't see the name Africa in scripture. You will see the land of Ham. That's what you will see. It's not Africa. There's no such thing as a Africa, with exception of when Leo Scipius Africanus came and changed the whole name of the continent to Africa, and now everybody today calls it Africa, and that's what they're familiar with. You mentioned the land of Ham, you done lost the majority of the people. They're finished. You have lost the majority of the people. But anyway, that's a good history lesson for you to know. So there's a lot of Hamites that are seeking refuge into Israel. And Israel is closing up their doors and shutting up their borders and will not let them in, because the land over there is being decimated by war. Tribal war, the manipulation and the coercion of the United States of America, along with Great Britain, or the seed of Japhet, who is ruling the world right now. The world is just going to pot. That's all there is to it, because those that are ruling and those that are reigning right now have no mercy whatsoever at all. And you have to understand this. These people cannot change their nature, because they are who they are. Do y'all understand? The things that America does and the things that Great Britain does is just not in my blood. I'm not that man. I'm not that people, if you understand. I'm a Hebrew. But they are doing what their father, the devil, would have them to do. And so as it is over in the land of Israel, when you have the seed of Japhet over there posing as the Israelites, calling themselves Jews, created a religion called Zionism, which Messianic Judaism actually masked itself under by following all of their laws, statutes, and commandments, is just a mess. And I'm not about, Pastor Dowell is not about to receive one bit of nothing from no Ashkenazi or no Zionists. Nothing. I'm the one that's going to teach them. Says that over in Jeremiah that there's going to be these people coming. They're going to grab the skirt of one who is of Yehudim. And they say, we will follow you. I'm not following them people who celebrate and worship pagan gods and bow down to idols and statues and drink children's blood and do circumcision with their teeth with babies. The rabbis do. I'm not about. You ain't gonna peg me with that mess any old kind of way, shape, fashion, or form. No, Pastor Dowell is not a Jew. Did y'all hear what I said? I'm not a Jew. I am not a Jew. I'm a Hebrew, and I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Yehuda. And there is a difference. You can twist, warp the designation all you want, but to go ahead and align yourself with these people called Jews, you align yourself with the seed of Japhet, who are literally committing genocide on the Palestinian people, shutting up their doors and border to the Hamites, who coming from the land called Africa, and it's just a mess. And now I just got on here and heard from RT today that that same state of Israel, who actually got asylum in this land right here because the United States and Great Britain and Palestine didn't even know that they were going to come that route or that way. They basically had the land stolen from him under a land agreement, a landlord agreement. But what had happened is that they have been sterilizing Ethiopian Jews, women and men both, and hiding it under vaccines or inoculations. And they have not been honest with these people. And the reason being is because they don't want these people reproducing in the land that they call Israel, because they don't want the land to get overrun with a bunch of colored people. And that's just a fact. And not only that, when they would have blood drives from the Ethiopian Jews, they would take the blood and act like they was going to use it, but since they had fear, that so-called fear that it was going to be tainted with AIDS, they took the blood and dumped it out in the back 40, if I can use that terminology and be pure. So we got a mess on our hands today, a literal mess on our hands today. I feel sorry for all you people that are looking to these bastards for salvation and don't know what the truth is and never have known the truth is, and you get offended when somebody like me brings forth the truth. And it's just a sad situation. I want everybody, let me see what we got here. Good, everybody's coming into the chat room there because the video's not yet up. Brother Juan and Brother Shane and Jason and Four is working on it right now. But you know what I'm going to do right now, instead of spend all this time talking about those transplanted people who call themselves Jews today, which they are. And, you got to actually go and look at my message, which is kind of hard to understand. I need to hit that again too, but I got so much I need to do. But I got a treat here tonight. The first thing I want to do is I actually want to play something for you concerning the collapse of Bulgaria. Now, most of us are very much familiar with the collapse of Zimbabwe and the economic ramifications that have taken place, and how the people in that land are peddling for gold in the streams just in order to get 1 ounce, in order to get a loaf of bread. Now, I think 1 ounce of gold today is running between $160 and $180. Can you imagine paying $160 or $180 for 1 ounce? I mean, for a loaf of bread, $160, $180. That's what happens when you have devaluation of currency, like the United States of America is doing through their so-called policies and fundamentals. They're going to put us all in the poorhouse, basically, in a nutshell. And I've got a lot of moves I still got to yet make here. As a matter of fact, I got my contingency plan that I've got to implement, and I'm going to start implementing next week when I go out, because I still have a whole lot more dry goods and everything else I need to buy in order to sustain us, the saints of the Most High Yah, here at Straitway. I still got another 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 pounds of grain I have to buy, and I'm going to do that. And I promise you that, and more than likely be the Father's will, I have that much grain stored up before Passover. Hallelujah. And that is the truth. To add even more to it, because when the HTF hit the fan, we here at Straitway going to be going to one quality healthy meal a day. That's what we're going to be doing. Hallelujah. We already eat 2 meals. We eat 2 meals a day here at Straitway, and we're sustained pretty good. It's just that our meals, we try to make sure that they're nutritionally sound. But then also on the other end, your federal government, the United States of America, under Satan's authority. You can't make this stuff up, what I'm getting ready to tell you. You simply just cannot make this stuff up. You know what they're doing? This year, at the turn of the year, all you people who receive government subsidiaries or handouts, which I'm not against. I believe that you should take everything you can from this system. They're going to dock everyone. Now, there's 50 million people in America that is on food stamps. That's 1 out of 7. 1 out of 7, when you do the ratios, that is on food stamps here in America. And they're going to dock, look at this now, everybody who receives food stamps, $36 a month. And that's because of the debt that they accumulated through QE3 back in 2010. That's what they're going to do. And not only that, look at this now. Your government thinks that it's better to starve the people or the poor. Now you think about this. I told you, if I said it once, I said it 1,000 times, you can tell the character of a nation or country by how it takes care of its poor. And that's just the truth. And these people don't care nothing about the poor. You know why? Rather than cutting defense spending and getting our nose out of everybody else's business all over this world and having soldiers die all across the world in the name of so-called America under these trumped up these warmongering people who are doing nothing but sending your sons and your daughters to war to die so they can gain more profits. It's amazing. That's what's going on. But rather than cutting the defense spending, they're cutting the food, the money that people will get for food. That's what they're going to keep on doing it. I told you, it's going to be rich, and it's going to be poor. Just like the Bible says, whether you believe it or not. And if you choose not to believe it, you do it on your own apparel. It's none of my business. Don't worry, be happy, have a good life. But know this, when the breath go out of our bodies, then the judgment. And you can believe that. And that's the truth, and that's the truth straight way. Hallelujah. But, hey, that's America for you, isn't it? We can actually really cut trillions of dollars off this so-called defense budget that we have going out there just to blow the hell out of all these other nations. But no. We're gonna cut some of these programs. We're gonna cut some of these programs. We're gonna cut these food stamps, and we're gonna take food out of people and little children's mouth. That's what we're gonna do. You have to understand, there are some people that are legitimately poor. And if we are so-called biblical people, even when we grow a garden, you know we're supposed to leave the edges of the garden for the strangers to come by and glean, even though they're not of Israel, for the strangers to come by and glean, so they can actually have food to eat themselves. See, the Torah ain't looking so bad when you know exactly what it means, is it? Is it? It's not looking bad at all. But hey, who gonna teach it but a real true Hebrew that's gonna be able to tell it just like it is and be able to see right through all the muck and the mire? A child born today can look forward to being born in a world that is rifled with pee and doo-doo. That's all they got to look forward to, because the future is definitely not looking bright. You make the right choices and the right decisions in your life to preserve you and your family, and the Most High Yah will show you to be wise. I don't care whether you understand it or not. That's why I talk about economics over and over and over again. When this economy collapses, the dollar's going to be devalued, and we're in a mess. We're in a literal mess. But I want you to listen to this. I was on Southern Pepper 1 YouTube page today, and he had a very, very interesting video that I have the audio to, and I want you to listen to this. And what he's doing, he actually has in his group a woman that was around during the financial collapse of Bulgaria, and I actually got this audio clip to play here tonight on this particular radio broadcast so that you people can understand. I mean, if you're only hearing it from me, I know the cognitive dissonance set in. I know the normacy biases is rooted. And I said it once, and I'm going to say this again for 1,000 times. This bizarre behavior is deeply and collectively and socially bedded in the subconscious of men's mind. And Yah himself is not even going to remove it if you can understand my speech. And if you can understand what I'm saying. It is a mess what we got going on today. Do y'all hear me? It is a mess. A literal mess what we got going on today. And it just don't make any sense whatsoever at all. He that have ears, let him hear what the Spirit is saying unto the assembly. You need to hear. Oh boy. Well, it's a mess. But anyway, I want y'all to listen. If you cannot hear my words, if you cannot hear my speech, maybe, just maybe, this audio clip right here will begin to resonate with you and you'll get rid of this normalcy bias. You do everything you can to at least try to position yourself so that you can understand what I am saying. All right. Now let me go there real quick. All right. Let me see. We're going to go to Southern Prepper 1 video today. Listen to the audio here about the lessons learned or the lessons of the collapse of Bulgaria. Southern Prepper 1.
Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. I want to talk about a subject of community. Someone in the last video said they probably can't form a community until way after SHTF. I think to survive what's coming, you have to have a community right now. You have to have all those specialized skills working together, moving the community forward. And it's a huge array of skills. It's just not the guys with the guns. It's just not the farmers. It's people that can take a lot of food, process it. It's medical personnel that can keep you well. It's the mechanics, keep that tractor running. It's those guys that can go out there and wheeling and dealing and getting supplies, fuel for tractors, medicine. It's going to take a lot of different people on the skill set. So I appreciate that comment about, it'll take a while before you can form a community. But I'm working on the community right now. Inside our group is a lady that survived the fall of communism in Bulgaria. When communism fell, it also created a huge financial collapse for the country. She said pretty much overnight, she had $10,000 in U.S. money, the equivalent, in the bank. Instantaneously, it was 10 cents when the inflation kicked in, hyperinflation kicked in. No value. She took her very small used car, sold it, got a bunch of money for it, but the money was worthless. But she was lucky she was able to pay her mortgage and totally pay it off with all that worthless currency she got. She did that very quick. She survived that. It was not a fun time. She has seen, I talked to her last night, she has seen the same financial signs in the United States economy. She says it's coming without a shadow of a doubt. And this is a person that lived through it. She is just a wealth of information. She earlier said, not yesterday, but she has a very good job, very respected job in any community, be it in Romania or the United States. She said on her breaks, she would go out and look for snails, look for anything she could eat. You might say, man, was food that scarce? Yes, food was that scarce and that expensive. She said candles were probably one of the most sought-after items. People lost their electricity, couldn't pay it. Candles could only be bought on the black market, and they were very expensive, out of reach of most people. So we need to remember that. Stock as many candles as you can. She said the people that survived were the people that organized, the people that worked together, and the people that they already knew. People that did not want to organize, did not want to share resources, share skills, had a much harder time. She said community was the only way they survived. She said she spent a few very hungry days not getting enough to eat. She is just a wealth of information. I'm going to try to interview her. when I talked to her last night, I've talked to her many times, but last night it was just, I don't know, eye-opening that, you might think, oh, Bulgaria's a third world country. Bulgaria has people in it. Bulgaria had a financial system and a political system collapse. America has people in it. America could have a financial collapse and a political collapse. It's the same thing. Romania was probably better set up because they were already used to a lower living standard than the people of the United States. So I appreciate that comment that she said on the earlier video that we probably couldn't form a community till way after an SHTF. I challenge you, form your community now. Get your friends together, get neighbors together, and I think it'd be much better. Thanks for watching.
Now you can't beat that. That is just flat out in your face. And I tell you what I'm gonna do. We usually don't get stuff the first time. I want to play that one more time just for clarity. One more time. I want y'all to listen. I'm going to play it one more time. All right? Southern Prepper 1, Lessons of a Collapse over in Bulgaria. Listen to these words and what this woman says. Pay attention, Israel.
Hey, YouTube. This is Southern Prepper 1. I'm going to talk about a subject of community. Someone in the last video said they probably can't form a community until way after SHTF. I think to survive what's coming, you have to have a community right now. You have to have all those specialized skills working together, moving the community forward. And it's a huge array of skills. It's just not the guys with the guns. It's just not the farmers. It's people that can take a lot of food, process it. It's medical personnel that can keep you well. It's the mechanics that can keep that tractor running. It's those guys that can just go out there and wheeling and dealing and getting supplies, fuel for tractors, medicine. It's going to take a lot of different people and a skill set. So I appreciate that comment about, it'll take a while before you can form a community. But I'm working on the community right now. Inside our group is a lady that survived the fall of communism in Bulgaria. When communism fell, it also created a huge financial collapse for the country. She said pretty much overnight she had $10,000 in U.S. money, the equivalent, in the bank. Instantaneously, it was 10 cents when the inflation kicked in, hyperinflation kicked in. No value. She took her very small used car, sold it, got a bunch of money for it, but the money was worthless. But she was lucky she was able to pay her mortgage and totally pay it off with all that worthless currency she got. She did that very quick. She survived that. It was not a fun time. She has seen, I talked to her last night, she has seen the same financial signs in the United States economy. She says it's coming without a shadow of a doubt. And this is a person that lived through it. She is just a wealth of information. She earlier said, not yesterday, but she has a very good job, very respected job in any community, be it in Romania or the United States. She said on her breaks, she would go out and look for snails, look for anything she could eat. You might say, man, was food that scarce? Yes, food was that scarce and that expensive. She said candles were probably one of the most sought-after items. People lost their electricity, couldn't pay it. Candles could only be bought on the black market, and they were very expensive, out of reach of most people. So we need to remember that. Stock as many candles as you can. She said the people that survived were the people that organized, the people that worked together, and the people that they already knew. People that did not want to organize, did not want to share resources, share skills, had a much harder time. She said community was the only way they survived. She said she spent a few very hungry days not getting enough to eat. She is just a wealth of information. I'm going to try to interview her. When I talked to her last night, I've talked to her many times, but last night it was just, I don't know, eye-opening that, you might think, oh, Bulgaria's a third world country. Bulgaria has people in it. Bulgaria had a financial system and a political system collapse. America has people in it. America could have a financial collapse and a political collapse. It's the same thing. Romania was probably better set up because they were already used to a lower living standard than the people of the United States. So I appreciate that comment that she said on the earlier video that we probably couldn't form a community till way after an FHTF. I challenge you, form your community now. Get your friends together, get neighbors together, and I think it'd be much better. Thanks for watching.
I mean, after all, what do you say? Does it not sound like what I talk about all the time? I mean, literally all the time. And here in this country, Americans, they're half crazy. Why you need to get guns? And well, you need to obtain guns, and you need to obtain a boatload of bullets. I don't care if they just ball ammunition. Get you some ammo. Because you're going to need to protect yourself from the mob that's going to try to go around and literally rule everybody. You're going to have to develop a Type 360 because you can't, just as well as I do. Look at what happens to these people. Watch and see what's going to happen again when they have Black Friday. Right after Thanksgiving, watch these people. They're demonically in possessed. You watch them. Look at what takes place whenever there's a natural disaster or a disaster going on in this country. Look what happened to Katrina. Look what happened to Sandy. The evil, Adamic nature of man is inevitably going to take over. That's all there is to it. And you people need to wake up and get the reality of it. Not only that, you do need to get candles. Man, I remember years ago we had so many candles and we got rid of a lot of them because at the time we didn't think we need them. Boy, I wish we had all them things back. But candles, you're going to need them. You're going to need lamp oil, batteries, flashlights. I'll tell you, you're going to need it. You are going to need it. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Here's Straitway. Things are going to get so tight that we're going to have brethren guarding the food. And we're going to have families, whole families, in the homes that we have occupying one room. A family of 4 in one room. Family of 3 in one room. Family of 5 in one room. Because we're not going to be running around when folks are going crazy and these mobs are going to try to go around and try to come on our community. I mean, we'll pull guard and everything else, thinking they're going to go house to house and perpetuating all kind of evils and injustice. But this is just the nature of people. What do you expect? Look at these Christians. You expect this is the nature of people, especially if they don't have Yah in their life. But it's just a literal fact. I told you well over 10 years ago that America is going to become a third world country. I told you, Bro Shane can pull it up in the archives. So you know I ain't been talking out the side of my neck. And we have been sitting here watching this thing incrementally decline year by year, by year, by year, and by year. We have sat and watched this thing literally go down the toilet. And we're watching the decline take place right now. You know what else I found out today? The most powerful man in the world is supposed to be the President of the United States. You know he's number 2 now? You know who ended up taking the number 1 spot? Vladimir Putin. Now, isn't that something? Vladimir Putin. Yeah, Russia. Isn't that something? And that came by Forbes magazine. Isn't that something? And that's supposed to be a reputable and notable magazine. I mean, we got things changing. Whoa, boy, right before our very eyes. Now, on a good note, I have an inspired 13-year-old boy that listens to me, him and his family. And I soundbited Sal's radio show. Sal called me up last night and told me about this young man and his family that's been listening to us on the Straitway Truth and how that we've been very influential in his family. But this 13-year-old has a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge. So a lot of you children out there, you do well to listen to this young man who haven't even been in the faith 2 years yet. He said he came in at 11, he's 13 now, but you don't know if that's 11 in how many months or 13 in how many months. And in less than 2 years, he's got a wealth and plethora of knowledge, and I didn't take all of it. I'm only going to play about 14 minutes of it, this excerpt of this soundbite. But I want y'all to listen to this young man and listen to him real, real good, okay? 13-year-old. Listen to this. Y'all going to be encouraged by this.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you can hear you. You can hear you.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. I just wanted to know, did your dad bring this information to you? Like, where did he get this information from? Like, did he just start studying the scriptures or something like that? And he changed it to a Hebrew Israelite? That's all I want to know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my dad, well, when we were in the Christian church, I remember he was kind of knowing that something wasn't right about it. So he was praying to the Most High to not let us be deceived. And eventually, we came across some information, in the Bible that didn't line up with what the Christian church was teaching us. So then we came out of the Christian church. But then when we came out of the Christian church, we went into that Messianic Jewish stuff, and that wasn't the full truth. But then, a few months later, we actually found out that we were the children of Israel. I remember we first heard that from Pastor Dowell, and yeah, that's basically how we found out that we were the children of Israel, and that's how we became Hebrew Israelites.
Now, in your opinion, why are so many kids or teens not interested in studying the Bible? In your opinion?
Well, in my opinion, a lot of teens are interested in studying the Bible. Well, one reason is because their parents aren't teaching it to them. And I'm going to go to Genesis chapter 6, verse 6. And Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 6. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 6. And it says, "And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk to them when thou sittest in thine house, when thou walkest by the way, when thou liest down, and when thou risest up." So basically, you're supposed to be teaching, the word diligently unto your children, and talk to them when you're sitting in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, when you rise up. So all the time. That's one reason why kids are into the Bible. Another reason is because a lot of kids, they like to be entertained by other things, like playing video games, watching movies, playing sports, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, were you trying to say something?
No, I said, go ahead. You could finish.
Oh, okay. And a lot of kids my age, they don't even like to read. So if they don't like to read, then they're definitely not going to be trying to get into the Bible. Because, I remember when I was in the Christian church, I really didn't like reading. I didn't like getting into the Bible. So it was more of a thing where I would go to church on Wednesdays and Sundays, and that's the only time where I would open up the Bible, and it wasn't really, I didn't really get that many scriptures in, even when I did open the Bible at the church. So, those are a few reasons why kids my age aren't getting into the Bible.
Yeah. Wow. Now, what are some of the things that your parents do to keep you grounded? I know you said they do a lot of Bible studies and stuff like that during the week. But what other things they may do to keep you grounded when it comes to this Word of God?
Well, yeah, I said the Bible studies, but, well, it's not really like a forced thing. I mean, I like to get into it on my own, but other than filming Bible studies, well, we get together on the Sabbath and stuff like that, and that kind of keeps me going throughout the week, and so every Sabbath I get revived, and then I can get back into the Word and stuff like that, so, yeah, I can't really think of anything other than the Bible studies.
Now, I know you said you listened to Debate Talk for you about like 8 months or whatever. How did you discover the show? How did you discover Debate Talk for you?
I think we may have been listening to Pastor came in there, and he may have been on here one time or something like that. You may have heard it before. Then we came on to debate Talk for You. It could have been Pastor Dowell, maybe Brother Josh.
Yeah, like I had him on. Yeah, I had Pastor Dowell on the show actually maybe 3 times. Yeah. Okay, I got you. Okay. All right. What's one of the debates was like your favorite that you heard so far? Anything that you liked in particular? Any topics? I know you sent me a couple topics that you want to try to set up some shows for. So, any topics in general that you already heard that you liked a lot?
Well, I like Is the White Man the Devil? I like that one. Brother Josh and Brother Eleazar in this one, I wanted to see what Brother Eleazar was going to say to prove that the white man is the devil. You know, the white man is not the devil. Devils are devils. Demons are devils. And, you know, I witnessed devils being casted out of people, and I can assure you that the white man is not the devil, because when I saw it, it wasn't even a white person. So, yeah.
Wow, okay, all right. And, as far as your parents, do they, you say they're not a part of any congregation or camp or nothing like that. You just do your own independent studies, right?
Yeah, we do our own independent studies. You know, we want to look for people right now, but we haven't found anybody who's close to us, so, yeah, we're not in any congregation.
Oh, that's cool. So more or less, you guys listen to Pastor Dowell, you check him out, Pastor Dowell, more or less.
Yeah, we listen to Pastor Dowell, Honor and Humility, STL, that's the channel, Brother Malachi and the Brothers, people like that.
Okay. Yeah, so once again, the number is 646-716-7320. I have 13-year-old. It's Stephen Israel here live on the show. Once again, he's the youngest special guest of the Big Talk for you, breaking down that knowledge out there. A lot of 13-year-olds don't know some of the things you're bringing out. So I really appreciate that, you coming on the show and letting people know that you study as a young person and a young teenager and still get that knowledge and understanding out there. Now, how hard is it to, stay focused as far as, because you see a lot of these kids are into, video games, like you mentioned earlier, and other things. Like, how tough is it to, stay in that path for a young man like yourself?
Well, I wouldn't say it's that hard now, but back then when I was just transitioning over, it was kind of difficult. I couldn't do usual things that I did, like play basketball on Saturdays, stuff like that, or go to tournaments or anything like that. I had to stop because I was keeping the Sabbath day. And, a lot of I couldn't go to people's parties and stuff like that because I was keeping the Sabbath. So, it was kind of hard at first, but now it gets easier and easier as you go. I've been in this for a little bit, so, yeah.
Okay. And what about holidays? A lot of holidays coming up. You got the Halloweens, you got the Christmas and stuff like that. What's your perspective or your research, when it comes to these holidays?
Well, these holidays, they're pagan. We shouldn't be keeping them, okay? And, we have Halloween tomorrow. Our neighbors have their little decoration thing going on. And stuff like Halloween, Christmas, you shouldn't be doing that. And those are vain traditions. Those are after the traditions of men, and that's not after God. Because God, He didn't tell us to do Halloween. He didn't tell us to do Christmas. He didn't tell us to do Easter or any of that stuff. But I want to read one scripture, and I'm going to go to Jeremiah chapter 10. I'll go to Jeremiah chapter 10. And I'm going to read, I'm going to start at verse 1. Hear ye the words which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. for the heathen are dismayed at them. Okay? For the customs of the people are vain. So it's saying that the customs of these heathens are vain. Now, let's look at one custom. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen, with the axe. They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and hammers that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree, speak not. They must needs be born because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. So, basically that's talking about the heathen tradition. That kind of sounds like Christmas. So, today we don't actually have to cut an actual tree and bring it in our house. We just buy one from Walmart or whatever you buy a tree from. And, it says that they fastened it in the house with nails. They fastened it with nails and hammers that move not. And they're upright as a palm tree. And they deck it with silver and gold. Now, I remember back when we used to keep Christmas, we had, we put ornaments on it and stuff like that. And then we, had a gold thing going around the tree and a silver thing going around the tree. Okay? So, those holidays, like Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, you're not supposed to be keeping those. Thanksgiving, a lot of those holidays have pagan roots. Like giving, it started out as when they would kill the people who came over to America, like the Pilgrims or whatever, the people in the colonies, and they would kill a group of Indians or whatever, they'd have a Thanksgiving feast after that. That's what Thanksgiving was to them. And now today, a lot of people don't know that, but you can look it up. So look up the roots of all those holidays and you'll find out that they're pagan.
Yeah, what about Halloween? A lot of these kids don't see nothing wrong with the Halloween, You're walking around with masks and, the trick-or-treating and stuff like that. What is it about Halloween?
Halloween, even before when I was keeping holidays and stuff like that, I never kept Halloween. Never went trick-or-treating or anything like that. So we knew that. We definitely knew that holiday was bad. And Halloween, I haven't really studied this too much, but I know that some of the roots, they would sacrifice their children to idols.
Right.
So that's where some of the roots come from. And it has to do with someone with jack-o'-lantern or something. They would use something to, I forgot what it was, but the jack-o'-lantern, that's pagan. The roots with Halloween and stuff like that, the roots of Halloween. So,
yeah. Your favorite debater is Brother Josh, and there's no other person here that you really like to debate on, on certain people that debated on the show?
Well, I heard Pastor Dowell. He was on a few of them, but I don't remember the names of a lot of people. I may hear some other people that sound good, but I don't remember their names. But Brother Josh has been on there a lot of times, so that's one that I remember.
I know there's a lot of people out there that listen with their parents. There's a lot of parents that do actually have their kids listening to Debate Talk for you. What's some last words you want to say to the kids out there? Something that you want to let the kids know and the teenagers know before we sign off. Any last words?
Well, keep studying so you can show yourself approved unto God. That's 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show yourself approved unto God. And hopefully this was encouraging to you guys, young people, anybody. And hopefully I woke up some people, to the truth. And again, thanks, Dowell, for inviting me onto the show.
All right. Was it not very encouraging to hear a 13-year-old young man talk like that? Very inspiring, isn't it? Parents doing an excellent job. Huh? Is that not inspiring? That is all inspiring. Hey, I can't be before you long here tonight because the saints of the Most High God can't keep them up. So I'm not going to be able to get to everybody's phone calls like I normally would. So I'm going to have to limit tonight's phone calls to maybe about 4 or 5 phone calls. Sorry. But if you want to, call in first day, and we'll get back with you. Because I have we got a lot of things we have to do here, but we're having technical difficulties, and the saints of the Most High Yah here on the land has not been able to hear this broadcast. So I need to go down and try to figure out what's going on, get it out over the transmitter, and if I even at that, I need to figure out some way I can download it and put it on the transmitter tonight so that they can be able to listen to it. So with that in mind, we'll go ahead and we'll hit. We'll hit about 4 phone calls there, okay? Hallelujah. Let's go to Oklahoma. Sister Christina, call number 405-405. This is Pastor Dowell on Straitway Truth Radio broadcast. How can I help you? Are you there, Oklahoma?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. What you got?
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm blessed to the Most High. Y'all doing well.
That's good. I have a question. I want to be real quick. I've been listening to you for almost 2 years now. My sisters have just now started, and they've asked me questions that I cannot answer. One of the questions is, I wanted to know if you can explain how all nations are able to become Israelites, and if we would all be equal in heaven.
Okay, all nations cannot become Israelites. People from other nations can be an Israelite. There's a difference. And when you say all nations, you're talking about a whole entire country. No. But what happens is, see, the bottom line is we are supposed to be the ministers to the nations. That's what the Torah teaches. We are the ones who's supposed to be teaching the nations about the fear of Yahweh and who he is. And that's what our job was supposed to be doing, and we didn't do it. We dropped the ball. And instead of us teaching the nations, we ended up in many different captivities, and the nations that end up teaching us. So you go over into Deuteronomy and the book of Numbers, you can see whether you be a stranger or homeborn, there's one law that's going to be to us and to the stranger. And that's it, just one.
Okay.
So we are the ones who's supposed to be teaching the nations. Now, when they come, they accept the laws, the statutes, and commandments. They repent and they turn from their wicked ways. Then they can become Israelites. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
All right. What was question number 2?
The second question was, I don't have any kids, but my sister do, and they're young, like under 5. Is there some things that you guys do on the Sabbath with the kids, or?
Yeah, they sit in service and just like we do and hear every word we're saying.
Okay.
They don't rip and run. They don't go to playground. They don't go to children's church. They don't have all that. They're sitting right there listening to everything we're hearing.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Pastor.
All right, shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Bye-bye.
All right, pretty good questions. But, you know, a lot of times, saints, if y'all just stick with listening to what I'm saying, a lot of these questions wouldn't even be hard to answer and stuff because, you know, when you go out there and start eating off other tables and stuff, they're going to confuse you. I mean, really, these people are going to confuse you. First of all, number one, you have to see the signs follow them that believe. And a lot of these people, they just have mental sense salvation. They got a lick of nothing that follows them whatsoever at all but a bunch of heartache, trouble, debate, confusion, and everything else that goes along with it. All right, hallelujah. All right, let's go to Brother Jesus. Caller number 703. 703 is Pastor Dowell. You're on Straitway Truth Radio broadcast. How can I help you?
Shalom, 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 Pastor Dowell. Shalom, shalom to all the saints listening. Pastor Dowell, I'm positive that you're doing all right, so I'm not going to ask you the question, and I just wanted to call to let you know that I'm very encouraged today. I'm very encouraged in the Most High, and I cannot wait to listen to your message tomorrow. That's it, Pastor. Have a good Shabbat.
All right, Shabbat shalom, Brother Jesus. Shabbat shalom. All right, let's go to Junior. Caller number 631. 631 is Pastor Dowell. You're on Straitway Truth Radio broadcast. How can I help you, Junior?
Shalom, Pastor, and saints listening. I just want to say Shabbat shalom to you. That says all I have. Back and I'll see you tomorrow, all right? Love you, Pastor.
All right, bless you, Junior. Lord to the King. Let's go to New York, Brother Ami. New York Brother Army, caller number 347. This is Pastor Dowell. You're on the Straitway Truth Radio broadcast. How can I help you?
Shabbat Shalom, Brother Pastor and Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom.
I got one quick question for Tom's sake. Amos 9:7.
Read it.
Are ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel?
Mm-hmm.
Says Yahweh. So
right.
Does Yah have like a special love or something for Ethiopians? Or can you explain that to me?
Sure he does. He got a special love for them and the Egyptians. That's what the that's what the Tanakh teaches. And you know, the people out here bringing about confusion when they thinking that Yah would discriminate from other nations and stuff. It's just unreal that what has happened with our minds today when we listen to a bunch of false teaching and false doctrines and stuff. No, you're going to see children of Ethiopia because remember, there's some people from the Falasha tribe down there in Ethiopia, brother, that's part of the tribes. And you're dealing with translation too. So you have to understand, brother, that the seed was intermingled with Hamites from the very beginning. And people don't understand. They just don't understand, brother, because they're listening to the wrong people who want to put forth their personal theologies and ideologies rather than sticking with the book.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait. Thank you, Pastor. Can't wait to get cut tomorrow.
All right, shalom, shalom. All right. Let's go to Sister Nastasha in Texas. Call number 469 is Pastor Dowell. You're on Straitway Truth. How can I help you, sister?
Yes, shalom, Pastor Dowell. I just wanted to say I love you. That was a very moving story that we heard with the community. It puts even more fire in me. I want to say I love you, and I love all the Israelites scattered abroad. Bless you, and I can't wait for the message tomorrow.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. All right. Let's go to Texas, the Brother Allen, calling number 281. 281 is Pastor Dowell. You're on the Straitway Truth Radio broadcast. How can I help you, Brother Allen?
Shalom, saints, Pastor the Most High. I just got a quick comment when you was talking about bizarre behavior. My wife, she's a school teacher, and every day she comes home with these crazy stories. She says the kids, they just can't sit still. She said half of them on medication. They pee on themselves. They turn flips. They crawl on the floor. It's just like bizarre behavior. When you were saying about it's embedded in their subconscious, I was just thinking like, wow, this world, and this this world is really crazy. It's off the chain, Pastor, and I don't want my kids in no part of that public food system. So I just wanted to share that with you real quick about the bizarre behavior. It's in schools, it's everywhere. So that's all I want to share with you. And love you guys and miss you brothers up there Straitway.
All right, bless you, Brother Allen. Good to hear from you, brother. Shabbat shalom. All right, last caller for the night. Let's go to Theory. Sean, 333. It's Pastor Dowell. You're on Straitway Truth Radio broadcast. How can I help you, Theory? Brother Sean, are you there, brother?
Shabbat shalom. Can you hear me, Pastor?
Yeah, I got you.
You got the wrong one. This is Brother Ron from the church.
I don't know why that is, bro. I guess Brother Shane showed me the theory in here. I don't know how you popped up there. But anyway, welcome, Brother Ron. How you doing?
Bless you, Pastor. Just calling in to say Shabbat shalom to you and to my brothers and my sisters scattered abroad and on far mountains. Not going to hold you. Shabbat shalom and have a wonderful night.
All right, my brother. Shabbat shalom. The King coming. Have a beautiful night. All right, saints of the Most High, y'all. I'm tapped out. I'm done. This is Pastor Dowell, Straitway Truth Radio broadcast. I hope each and every last one, some way, somehow, is edified and encouraged, and more than anything, it put a sober pill inside of you to let you know that we're in the end days, we're in the end times. And I don't know how many ways we can dress it up. I don't know how many times we can communicate. I don't know what way we can communicate it to try to get you to understand what's actually going on here today in this time and hour we're living in. But I tell you what, it's high time for us to wake up out of sleep. There's a famine in the land. And it's not for food, it's not for water, it's not for bread, it's for the hearing of the word of Yah. And if you got the ears to hear, I hope and pray that you have the ears to hear. I really, truly do. And you know the one way you're going to hear? Faith come by hearing, hear come by the word of Yah. And how can you hear without a preacher? And everybody out there ain't preachers. That's all there is to it. Sorry. And he said, and I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Hey, I want y'all to know one thing for sure. And I guarantee it. Matter of fact, not only do I guarantee it, I stake my life on it. I know that the king is coming. That is the truth. And that's the Truth Straitway. Hey, y'all be encouraged, okay? Y'all be encouraged. Hey, brothers, all y'all that do this broadcast, I want y'all to clear out a lot of these little things y'all got in, because it's bringing other confusion. I can't even find nothing in this queue. I want y'all to clear out half of what y'all got in here. If y'all don't clear it out, I'm going to clear it out for y'all. It better be cleared out by first day. Shabbat Shalom. The king coming. Uh-oh, look at him looking.